In a strange, floating world, miners are hard at work, but tensions are clearly running high. A mysterious guardian shatters a seal, unleashing ancient, powerful monsters upon the unsuspecting workers. But these monsters were incompatible with the human world. Their physical forms began to dissolve, turning them into spiritual bodies. Now, as spirits, they can emerge from anywhere. This change didn't go unnoticed. The Guardians, protectors of the balance, decided it was time to issue a punishment. Soon, the news was filled with reports of mutated life forms attacking people across the city. But for most people, life just goes on. It's just another day, another commute on the subway. A futuristic train pulls into the station, another cog in the daily grind. Inside, it's the usual soul-crushing scene. Crowded, depressing, and suffocating. Someone is struggling to find the right words. Meet Qin Xi, a recent grad just trying to vibe his way through the commute, totally lost in his music. But behind the cool exterior, things are rough. With no job and kicked out of his home, he's just trying to survive. He's not the only one on this train with a story. Someone from the Iron Order is here, and it looks like they're on duty. A monster has made its way into the car. The mutated life form is massive, and it has one thing on its mind: demolish. This isn't just some random animal, it's a predator. The other passengers can only watch in utter disbelief and terror. Suddenly, the train screeches and lurches, throwing everyone off balance. Even in the chaos, Qin Xi's first reaction is pure irritation, fed up with being pushed around. But this isn't just the train braking hard. Someone is down. The source of the chaos reveals himself. A man in a suit transforms into a monstrous bear. The passengers panic as the berserker goes on a violent rampage. We learn the truth. Ancient monster spirits are possessing human bodies, turning them into mutated life forms. As the berserker tears through the car, Qin Xi can only look on, completely stunned. The train pulls into the next station. As someone is thrown clean through the window, two more men are taken down with brutal efficiency, leaving the other passengers frozen in shock. A heavy door grinds open. The crowd stampedes to escape the monster. Qin Xi is caught in the crush. The chaos spills out into the station. It's a full-blown panic as everyone runs for their lives. And our hero is having a terrible day. He's clearly disgusted by whatever he's seeing. As the giant, rampaging monster is standing over the bodies of its victims. This monster isn't just mindlessly raging. It has a mission, a very loud, very destructive mission. But our guy isn't just panicking, he's analyzing the threat. He realizes he's up against someone who was parasitized at their most emotional moment. All he can think about is finding a way to escape. He sees who's caught in the crossfire. A terrified grandmother and her grandchild are trapped with the monster. So he makes a choice. He tells them he'll be the bait, giving them a chance to run. He even throws in a little joke about his university track career. Classic hero move. At the exact same time, a mysterious figure watches the chaos unfold, clearly enjoying the show. Our hero headbutts the monster with an object. The plan is in motion. Our hero makes a run for it in his Crocs 5000 limited edition. He's doing everything he can to keep the monster's attention focused squarely on him, but the monster is way faster than he expected. It closes the distance in an instant, and he's completely caught off guard. With nowhere to run, he can only watch as the monster winds up for a devastating punch. As the civilians are evacuated, the little girl can only scream. The punch lands with brutal, gut-wrenching force. Our hero is sent flying by a vicious attack. He hits the ground hard, clearly taking some serious damage. His opponent seems completely unimpressed by the effort. Our hero, he's down for the count. He knows he made a critical mistake, but his sacrifice wasn't for nothing. The civilians, including the grandmother and child, made it out safely. But for our hero, it feels like the end of the line. The girl can only watch in horror, begging the guards to go back for him. A new authority figure steps in, ordering everyone to stand down. They're taking control of the situation. Suddenly, a dark, powerful energy begins to swirl around our fallen hero. He's still on the ground, but he can feel a strange new power surging through him. He clenches his fist, channeling this new, unknown energy. This fight isn't over yet. He gets on his knees, completely defeated. He can't believe it's all gonna end like this. A memory surfaces. A kid escaping into video games while his mom reaches her breaking point. He trades family drama for street trouble, but instead of being scared, he just seems completely over it. Life keeps hitting. and now he's at rock bottom, publicly humiliated as the whole world seems to laugh at him. It's not just physical pain, it's the sheer injustice of it all that fills him with rage. And then, something changes. He's been beaten down his whole life, and now he has a single, desperate wish: to win just once. The monster goes for the finishing blow. Suddenly, our hero feels a new surge of power. He wants to live. He wants to win. A massive dragon of pure energy appears, hitting our hero. Somehow, he withstands the blast, and now this dragon apparently knows him. Our boy is confused. Is this all just a dying dream? A dark power begins to physically manifest, consuming him in agony. The monster goes for the finishing blow. The blow connects, but not with our hero. He's somehow transformed into this armored beast. Yeah, that took a turn. He himself is now a monster too, and he's meeting the blow head on. And with that, he reclaims the one thing he'd lost: hope. The massive monster lets out a furious roar, but a powerful punch lands right on its face, shattering his pretty side. And just like that, the attacker's claws power up, shifting from white to a menacing red. The demon grins, revealing the secret to his power: claws that can sever the bond between a person and their parasitic spirit. The newly empowered claws strike their target, ripping through metal with explosive force. With a gleeful laugh, the demon starts his surgery, slicing his opponent apart with energized slashes. With the deed done, the demon strikes a triumphant pose, screaming that his victim is now free. Suddenly, the man is thrown forward as a vicious white spirit beast erupts from the dark energy surrounding him. The strain is too much, and with a loud snap, his belt and pants just give up. He collapses in agony, tears streaming down his face as he violently coughs up a strange white foam. And then we see the cause of all this chaos: a massive blue spirit bear materializing right behind him. The tusked demon pops in with a surprisingly cheerful, "Hello there." The spirit bear isn't pleased. He looks almost scared. Yep, he takes a run for it. Massive paw slams into the ground, shaking the entire area and showing off some serious power. The demon figure chases the terrified spirit bear, drooling over its high-quality food, declaring it won't hold back as it lunges a bite. He eats the spirit. The demon erupts into a maniacal laugh, absolutely delighted by how disgusting the taste was. Our horned demon-like hero calmly faces down a squad of armored soldiers rushing his way. He identifies the approaching squad as the security department. The demon lets out a long, annoyed ugh, but his annoyance quickly turns to panic. Something has gone terribly wrong at the absolute worst moment. The demon armor is disappearing. He stares at his hands, which have transformed into monstrous claws of glowing red. Catching his reflection in a window, the reality of his monstrous new form hits him like a truck. He doesn't understand a thing about what's going on, but the other passengers are more confused than scared, as he asks them if it's cosplay party or what. The security team is confused. Our newly transformed hero looks over and sees the man from the beginning of the fight, now unconscious and drooling. Even he can't believe his own strength. The horrifying truth dawns on him. He's been parasitized, but his new passenger claims it was just saving his life. The guy he decked is out cold. Meanwhile, the defense team opens fire on him, thinking he is the threat. Suddenly, our hero loses control of his own body. Some unseen force is manipulating him, and he has no idea who's behind it. The priority shifts from fighting to fleeing. Time to get out of there now. A tranquilizer dart finds its mark. And judging by his reaction, that really stung. It tickles, he says. Wait, pause. The good news is, tranquilizer dart has absolutely no effect on him. With the tranquilizer useless, the order comes down. Stun him with a shock grenade. But our hero is back in the driver's seat and ready for a fight. He tells the others to stand back. He's fully embracing his new power, and he looks ready to cause some serious trouble. He immediately gets to prove it, facing down a massive projectile directed at him. He's a blur of motion, effortlessly deflecting the grenade. He seems to be having a little too much fun with this. The grenade hits the soldiers instead. He makes his exit, smashing right through the side of the train. Now outside, he takes to the sky, jumping off buildings. And just like that, the chaos is over. Security forces scramble to deal with the aftermath, but a new player has arrived on the scene. A mysterious figure in a trench coat, flanked by a very serious-looking companion. This is the infantry captain, and from the look on her face, she's here to take control of the situation. The boss wants answers. Did they catch their guy? Looks like the answer is a big, fat no. She is not pleased. Their target is down for the count, and a massive beast moves in to investigate the body. Someone just made a very dramatic exit, blowing a hole straight through the side of the train. The boss tries to lay down the law, demanding results. But her companion is more interested in pointing out how tall she is. So he decides he might as well drop the disguise, and with a massive roar, the beast reveals its true form. The transformation from beast back to man looks anything but pleasant. He's back in human form, but looking just as feral and dangerous as before. She correctly guesses he's more comfortable as a monster. He proudly agrees. That's his true self. The expert analyzes the scene, confirming the claw marks belong to their target. But his partner has some questions about the details. Impressed? She tries to recruit him, but he rejects her. He's not interested in joining anyone's team. Mystics, he explains, are born different and walk their own path. But then, a sudden thought stops him in his tracks. He takes a seat. His partner tells him to get up, now's not the time to rest. But he explains he's sensing the energy. He sees an opportunity and asks for more money. She coolly agrees. The budget is not an issue. He closes his eyes, trying to concentrate, and releases a hypersensitivity skill. He sees him, our hero, racing through the city at impossible speeds. His armor clicks and shifts. He begins to transform back to his human body. The mystic is clearly in agony, pushing himself to the absolute brink. That confidence is about to be tested. He sees the massive, shadowy dragon. The strain becomes too much to bear as he lets out a final, desperate scream. The dragons start making some funny faces. The mystic is stunned, scared to death. He's in total disbelief. In a shocking turn, the beast attacks him. On the train, the leader is also confused. Battered and exhausted, the mystic finally catches his breath. He's found him, but the leader is shocked. She is absolutely terrified. But his victory is short-lived, as a wave of intense pain suddenly doubles him over. The commander has one order for her enforcer. Get the medical team. Now! She grabs the injured man by the collar, desperately trying to shake him awake, asking about the location. Barely conscious, he utters the location, District 9. She summons a new figure, another subordinate, Flying Squirrel. With the command to chase, he instantly locks onto his target, ready to move. And with an explosive boom, he launches into the pursuit. She smirks, boasting that when it comes to speed, no one can outrun her flying squirrel. With a high-speed blur rocketing through the cityscape, and there he is, a massive, armored demon, joyfully soaring over the city. Turns out, our hero is sharing his body with a monster. The kid wants out, but his monstrous other half is just getting started. Despite their incredible parkour across the skyline, the human half is having a full-blown panic attack about his fear of heights. The demon argues they have to stay airborne. Apparently, a powerful sorcerer is hunting them on the streets below. But the human half has officially had enough of this high-altitude escape plan, and he is not being quiet about it. The demon snaps back, reminding him that screaming in midair is a terrible way to lay low. But their argument is cut short when the host's body suddenly starts to crack and shatter, sending them hurtling backward in agony. Our hero makes a painful crash landing, confirming that, yes, it hurt like hell. The demon dragon reveals it just sacrificed its outer skin to save them. It's not exactly happy about it either. He tries to give him directions, but he's not interested in help and walks off on his own. Nearby, a couple of security bots are busy arresting a desperate man for stealing a piece of bread. And our hero is watching the whole scene from the shadows. The hero's eyes flare as he spots the real threat, two heavily armored enforcers overseeing the arrest. And just like that, he quickly hides back. The street corner falls quiet. Our hero breathes a sigh of relief, thankful that for once, he's not the one being hunted. He continues to watch the chaos unfold from the safety of his 5-star hiding spot, a public trash can. His demonic partner chimes in with their next objective: find a shelter near the city's landmark clock tower. He continues with a stark warning. The security bureau is onto him, and going home is no longer an option. Faced with this grim news, our hero breaks down. mourning all the movies on his hard drive he'll never get to watch. The demon inside him is just amazed from all of this. And it seems he's not the only one. Someone else is watching from the rooftops above. Without a word of warning, the rooftop observer launches an attack, forcing our hero to dodge a barrage of energy blasts. Our hero quickly tries to assess the situation. The attacker reveals himself, a furious man with glowing red eyes who orders him to stand down. Meanwhile, our hero's supposed guide finds the whole situation hilarious. The dude makes a hard landing. The big bad with the glowing red eyes makes his offer. Hand over the spirit possessing the body, and freedom is yours. The spirit inside him tries to convince our hero to stick together. They have to take these guys down. After a moment of internal conflict, our hero accepts the offer. He wants to cooperate. Well, this isn't the kind of cooperation he was hoping for. The bad guy is all about a power trip. With a wild grin, he finally turns on the guy. He's cooperating with the spirit inside him. He throws a punch, but the enemy catches it midair. The flying squirrel is completely unimpressed. He scoffs at these boring little cunning moves. The spirit is proud of his host's choice and rewards him with a brand new weapon. Powered up with a new gauntlet, he gives a quick thanks. He's ready to put this new toy to use. The tables have turned. The flying squirrel is shocked by this sudden surge of power. However, the punch is so powerful, it sends him flying. He barely manages to land on his feet. Our hero is totally geeking out over his new knuckle duster. The spirit has to step in and correct him. It's a claw. Turns out, this claw is a big deal. The spirit reveals it's a divine tool forged by his companions. The flying squirrel pulls rank, declaring that attacking security is a serious offense. A forced arrest is now in effect. Our hero lays down his principles. He won't be captured, and he won't betray the spirit. The spirit inside is clearly on board. He's absolutely loving this fight, fully powered up. He dares the flying squirrel to come and get him. The flying squirrel is absolutely furious. He promises our hero will pay the price for his choice. The fight is pure chaos, with energy beams tearing up the battlefield as the flying squirrel gets absolutely launched. The spirit gives him a heads-up warning as the flying squirrel appears behind him, and before he can even react, his opponent lands a brutal kick to the gut. He's struggling to keep up with his opponent's speed. The spirit shouts some advice, but can he react in time? Digging deep, he grounds himself, channeling raw power through his entire body. A colossal kick comes crashing down, but he meets it head-on with a perfectly timed block. However, that sends him flying through the junkyard. Just when things look bleak, the spirit steps in. "Don't worry, I'm here." He lashes out at his spirit companion, telling it to shut up. The guy was just trying to help. He warns him to get serious as the enemy closes in on them. And with a flash of steel, he unleashes a lightning-fast attack. The attack lands, shattering the enemy's defense and leaving him absolutely furious. Emerging from the smoke, the villain is more than just angry. He's pissed. "You damn brat." Pushed to his limit, he screams that he hasn't fought in ages and doesn't want to start now. But the fight rages on anyway, a brutal ballet of kicks and impacts. The two trade blows, their fists meeting in a shower of sparks and pure force. The opponent closes the distance in an instant, moving so fast the very ground cracks under his feet. But our hero's power is taking its toll. The flying squirrel can barely withstand the pressure. He lets out a primal roar as his body starts to break apart under the strain. Our guy, though exhausted, he's far from finished. He's actually pretty proud of what his new claws can do. Suddenly, the other fighter loses control, consumed by a violent purple aura as our hero watches in confusion. The guy is apparently a heteromorph, host to a parasitic spirit. The agency's security bots are no match for this shadowy beast. They're just rusted scrap metal. They needed outside help. He lands a solid hit, and a spectral beast erupts from the enemy's back. Looks like he struck more than just armor. In a moment of shock, he realizes what he's done. He severed the connection between the host and his parasitic spirit. The separation is agonizing. The host's body contorts, unleashing a storm of pain, endurance, and pure fury. He completes the transformation into a massive werewolf and makes his demand: hand over the spirit or die. Our hero looks on in horror. He's seen this full beastification before, and it wasn't pretty. With a deafening roar, the beast lunges, closing the gap in a blur of fur and fangs. He gets absolutely launched by a massive blast. In the middle of the chaos, he desperately yells for a position. He manages to land on his feet. The spirit screams a last-second warning, but a massive attack is already bearing down on him. He can barely dodge the attacks. He's pushing himself to the limit, and even his dragon partner warns that they're about to break. As a massive wave of energy crashes down, he crouches low, ready to make his move. He's done holding back and makes a decision. It's time to go all in. With a furious battle cry, he dives in for a devastating attack. He and his dragon partner let out a combined roar, unleashing their full power. He shows off some serious agility, sliding just in time to dodge a massive incoming attack. The fight spills out onto the street, sending the monster flying right past the civilians. He's exhausted after that close call, but his partner is just psyched that their coordination is improving. He's not surprised at all. In fact, he looks pretty smug about being right. A crowd gathers around the damaged truck. From the shadows, he looks confused. It looks like his opponent disappeared. He looks up just in time to see a mysterious winged figure plummeting from the sky. It caught him completely by surprise. A massive werewolf-like monster lunges. Wait a minute, that's not a wolf, that's an oversized angry squirrel. The true form of the flying squirrel. A new power is surging through him, and he is absolutely loving it. He stands his ground, ready to face the massive, chaotic storm of energy. In a moment of shock, he realizes he's been tricked. He was just fighting an afterimage. The real monster appears right behind him with a chilling taunt. The flying squirrel grabs him in a crushing hold. He's trapped in a rear-naked choke, and he knows this is bad news. Even while being choked out, he's weirdly proud of the fight he put up. He asks the spirit inside him to use the exoskeleton, but he tells him it is on cooldown. He's pushing past the breaking point. The dragon spirit inside him begins thanking him for their time together. It thanks him for their brief but powerful partnership, but he refuses to let it go, defiantly telling his partner it's too early to say goodbye. Locked in a desperate struggle, he screams at the monster. He channels his remaining energy into one desperate, powerful punch directed at himself, even if that knocks him out. Apparently, he managed to separate the dragon spirit from his body. The flying squirrel immediately launches towards the spirit. He goes in with a vicious, bone-crushing bite. The dragon spirit manages to quickly dodge that and runs back to his host. His eyes glow as he channels his full power for the final blow. He prepares to deliver the finishing blow, calling it his last act of mercy. But just as he's about to deliver his epic one-liner, his partner steals the spotlight and the line. Frustrated or not, he follows through with a devastating, energy-infused kick. With his power flaring, he's all business now. The attack connects, sending the monster flying in a massive burst of energy. The rival character, who thought he had this in the bag, can't believe what he's seeing. A spectral creature, I assume it's a squirrel, lashes out. It is furious, its energy crackling with rage. He immediately takes a run for it. He's managed to win, but it was a desperate, last-ditch gamble. His own symbiote is sad that he didn't manage to it, though. The symbiote claims that it is fine. He prefers human food anyway. Two figures walk off together, heading towards the scene. The flying squirrel has to report his failure to a very, very unhappy superior. A new, imposing figure enters the scene, and he's not here to answer questions. The situation is spiraling, and our guy makes a desperate call for backup. Call Captain BU. BU. Who? Backup? This is clearly not the rescue he was hoping for. Instead of helping, the new figure makes it clear he's not a friend, declaring the 9th District off limits. Pow! He's gone! Meanwhile, in a skyscraper downtown, a storm is brewing both outside and in. It's a high-level briefing where military leaders track their target's last known location, the 9th District. The Governor of Security, Ming Liang, greets Captain BU with some less than sincere praise. Captain BU isn't amused by the political games. The 9th District's commander, Zhang Chun, calls out Captain BU for operating on his turf. But BU reveals her true objective. The mission was never about capture. It was about collecting data on the symbiont. The news of a regenerating symbiont definitely piques the 9th District commander's interest. Amidst all the political maneuvering, Captain BU seems to be having second thoughts. The governor makes his warning crystal clear. Stay in your lane. Bo's protest is quickly and coldly shut down. The governor switches tactics, dangling a promotion to keep Captain BU in line. The pressure is clearly getting to her. Putting on a professional face, she makes her exit. Her phones start buzzing. Just then, an unknown caller gets through on a secure line. It's a new player. He calls her by name, Bufeng, and they're offering to help find the target for double the price. In the middle of a bustling city, one guy seems completely overwhelmed by it all. Suddenly, an emergency alert hits every phone in the city. It's a wanted list for people who can turn into monsters. He pulls up a specific profile from that list. It's his profile, a 20-year-old named Qin Xi symbiont host. Turns out, being a symbiont host comes with a roommate, a very loud, very annoying parasite who's thrilled about their newfound fame. Just then, a notification pops up from an online forum. Looks like things are heating up online too. And what he sees on there clearly gets his attention. The site is full of panicked posts, like this guy who's convinced his house is haunted, and another from a parent whose kid has turned into a violent parasite. It's clear the citywide alert has caused total chaos. Qin Xi scrolls through the chaos, completely unimpressed. He thinks this place is just an echo chamber for idiots. But this forum is also a major intel hub, and hiding out is no longer an option. If they don't make a move, they'll be found and it's game over. Qin Xi has a plan. Find the clock tower shelter and figure out how to get this parasite out of him for good. He just wants to be human again. But he gets a new warning. Another host just like him has been caught. And worse, all communication systems are about to be shut down. Time to go dark. He powers off his phone, hoping to avoid being tracked. But it's useless. Even powered off, the signal towers can still ping a phone's approximate location. And just like that, he's surrounded. A squad of armored soldiers has him cornered, demanding he surrender. But surrender isn't really in his parasite's vocabulary. Qin Xi transforms, unleashing his other half. And he is not happy to be here. The soldiers open fire, unleashing everything they've got. But their attacks barely make a dent. He answers with a counterattack of his own, and it's brutally effective. In seconds, the entire squad is down, but the fight's not over yet. A much bigger enemy just arrived on the scene, and he's shocked by what he sees. This one looks like a serious upgrade. He powers up a massive arm cannon, ready to end this. The blast doesn't connect. Our guy easily dodges it. He dodges another. Even an attack like that is not be enough to take him down. Our boy closes the distance and immediately cuts the cannon in half. He is having way too much fun, grinning as he unleashes a massive slash. He isn't impressed, calling him not even worthy opponent. The scene cuts from the vast city skyline to something old and decaying, hidden in the shadows. He's inside the abandoned clock tower. Qin Xi is getting nervous about how quiet it is, but his companion is confident. No one can find them here. Qin Xi makes a grim declaration. This is the end of the line. He steps in his dinosaur shoes, which is definitely a choice. As they hide in the shadows, he gets a bad feeling. Something's moving around us. Can you feel it? His companion knows what this is. He calls this a welcome. Qin Xi is stunned when he's given a strange command. Read these words out loud. He repeats the words, but he seems confused. The words unleash a wave of destructive power, tearing the entire room apart. The incantation wasn't an attack, but a defense. It activates a barrier that seals them inside the shelter, cutting off all external contact. And just like that, the brand new barrier is formed. The shelter turns out to be an incredible magical workshop, and our hero is completely blown away. But they're not alone. The darkness is filled with menacing, spectral beings. Qin Xi is caught completely off guard as massive spirits burst onto the scene. A swarm of spirits launches towards him. Qin Xi is shocked. What's with all these symbionts? They completely engulf him, leaving him unable to breathe. The spirit spans. He screams for everyone to get out of his way. The other spirits finally back off. A mysterious new character casually taunts him, claiming the spirit companions are drooling over them. Qin Xi is shocked to see this new person and immediately goes on the offensive, but his opponent seems completely unfazed. Turns out, she is also a symbiotic host, and she's not having a great time. Suddenly, she comes crashing down to Earth with a painful thud. Yeah, she's definitely gonna have to work on those mid-air moves. He identifies her as just another lackey from the security bureau and sees his opening. He lunges in for the attack, but his companion is screaming that he's making a huge mistake. She locks in with an intense, calculated stare. With a single blast of energy, she sends him flying. He's completely paralyzed, unable to move an inch. He's caught midair. She calls him rude and immediately puts him in a world of hurt. He panics, trying to explain it's all a misunderstanding, while his symbiote begs him to call for the very person he's trying to calm down, Sister Qing. But Sister Qing isn't listening, striking him down without a second thought. She calmly steps over his defeated body. He can finally breathe again, having just escaped being suffocated. Sister Qing is less than impressed by the spirit's return. Qin Xi, on the other hand, is completely shocked to see her able to speak with his companion. His symbiote explains the situation. Sister Qing is a 100-year-old Xuan arts master who can see spirits. Suddenly, she reaches for him. She has some sort of psychic powers that allows her to levitate him again. She comments on how tender this human vessel is, declaring she's found her perfect servant. She lays out her terms. He can stay, but only if he agrees to be her personal chef and maid. He is not having it, angrily refusing to live under someone else's roof. But she makes it very clear he doesn't really have a choice in the matter. His symbiote desperately tells him to play nice, because they have absolutely no leverage here. So naturally, he attacks her, calling her an old hag. But in a shocking turn, he actually manages to capture her, taunting that maybe Xuan arts masters aren't so great after all. The pressure builds until something has to give. With a sharp crack, the gauntlet begins to break. His symbiont is completely stunned. From out of nowhere, she takes him out with a blindingly fast slash. He's hurt and exhausted, but the look in his eyes says he's not done yet. She smirks, completely in control. Qin Xi can only scream. As he's sent flying, fueled by pure rage, he can only curse at her. She starts levitating towards him. She's in full control. It's a standoff. One side is all defiant energy, while the other is just enjoying the show. The message is simple and cold. Beg for mercy, and maybe I'll forgive your rudeness. His symbiont, desperately trying to reason with the terrifying Sister Qing, and they need Qin Xi to play along. But Qin Xi, he's had enough. He roars that symbionts are people too, and this humiliation is unbearable. He goes for another attack, screaming that his opponent is the one being unreasonable. Unfazed, she just slams him again with her psychic powers. Our hero is sent plummeting towards the streets below. While the guards make their rounds, they notice a shadow above them. In a flash, our boy lands straight on top of them. He sits among the debris, nursing his injuries. That fight definitely took its toll. He gets an earful about blowing it with Sister Qing. That little tantrum just cost them a valuable potential ally. In a quiet moment of analysis, Qin Xi realized what they're up against. This isn't just a symbiote, it's a monster. It all clicks into place. If she knows everything, then maybe, just maybe, she can help him become human again. The crew tries to figure out what's up with Sister Qing. She's normally so gentle, but today she's in a seriously bad mood. His goal is clear. He needs to earn her trust no matter what. Our hero's night just went from bad to worse. He survived the fight, but his wallet didn't. And he's officially broke. All he's got left are a few measly coins. With no other options, he makes a call. But he's been completely locked out of the system. His identity is restricted, and he is not happy about it. Time for Plan B. He has his companion memorize a set of numbers for a mission. Meanwhile, a bandaged figure is being escorted by the guards. He knows they'll be able to trace him through his phone. It's been with him for years, but it's time to say goodbye. And just like that, he tosses his last connection to the grid. A final splash, and it's gone. The device sinks into the dark water, severing his ties for good. But his problems aren't sinking with it. Something powerful is stirring in the depths. And just before it dies, the phone gets one last call from someone named Haisha. Suddenly, a man with a very impressive mustache finds himself taking an unexpected swim. He spots the phone and goes for it. He looks like a fishman monster who seems thrilled to have the phone. Elsewhere, some creep is leaving a maid cafe, clearly having enjoyed himself a little too much. Inside, a new customer is greeted by an energetic, pink-haired maid. She promises to perform a little magic on a drink for her captivated audience. Except, she completely blanks on the magic words. Her failure earns her a sleazy offer from another customer, Boss Qian. She's on her 80th shift and absolutely hates her job, but she's forced to play along. This guy is really testing her patience, getting way too close for comfort, and that's the last straw. She finally snaps, smashing a bottle right over his head. The whole cafe erupts into chaos as she goes on a rampage. Her boss is furious, grabbing her arm while the other maids try to apologize for the mess. Furious, she storms out of the cafe, leaving the scum behind. But her day isn't over yet. An urgent call comes through. It's her manager, and he is screaming her name. "Haisha, what do you think you're doing?" He reminds her that she just assaulted Boss Chaman, a client they can't afford to lose. She's an assassin, and this, Boss Qian, sounds like a juicy new target. Suddenly, her eyes flare with purple light as she steps into the hallway, radiating an immense, magical energy. Turns out this powerful being is undercover as a maid, playing nice with a creepy client. She even offers him a special, pink happy water, to cool off. The client gets a little too handsy, but she just plays along with a teasing remark. But his lecherous passion ends up ruining her magic spell, and she is not happy about it. Meanwhile, he's just captivated by some enchanting scent. The guy is completely mesmerized, finally realizing she can actually use magic. With the man now fully under her spell, she gives him a simple command: come with her after his shift. Later that night, we arrive at a club with a very distinctive heart-shaped sign. Inside, the man is getting way too comfortable with what he thinks is Haisha. But the real Haisha is standing by the corner, declaring that this party is over, because the girl on his lap suddenly transforms, revealing in a rage that she's not Haisha at all, and the guy completely loses it. She lands a devastating blow, sending him flying across the room. He hits the floor once. She reveals her true form, a powerful symbiont backed by a massive spirit wolf. She's easily taken down her target, but she's seriously disappointed with how little cash he was carrying. She checks his ID and finds out he's supposedly a security bureau agent, but she's convinced it's a fake. She was really hoping for a bigger payday. Just then, a phone starts buzzing. She pulls out a strange keycard, looking at it intently. It displays a new bounty from the security bureau for a man named Qin Xi, and she can't help but feel like she's seen his face before. Then it hits her. He was in the class next to hers in college, and the bounty on his head is a massive 120,000 red coins. Back with our hero, he's making calls using a payphone. After calling everyone he knows for money, Qin Xi is left completely defeated. No one would lend him a single cent. He's down to his last coin. His symbiont wants to know who they'll call next. Qin Xi takes a quiet moment to himself, lost in thought. He starts dialing a number, getting frustrated. The symbiont thinks that they tried every number he asked him to remember. He has no idea who this person is. A quiet, domestic moment in an employee dorm is shattered by a loud, ringing phone. It's her Haisha. He's calling Haisha. She answers cautiously, asking who's on the line. Qin Xi is ecstatic that his call to Haisha actually went through. Haisha is shocked to hear from Qin Xi, but she quickly hides her surprise and plays it cool. A flashback reveals they were classmates, with a cheerful Haisha trying to be friends with him. He casually mentions he dropped his phone in a river, and she realizes that's why her previous call never came through. It seems this was all part of the plan. She is thrilled her little fishing expedition is right on track. He flashes back to when they first met, an energetic Haisha, president of the anime club, trying to recruit him. He snaps at his symbiont, who's teasing him about their relationship. Haisha is completely stunned, thinking he was shouting at her. Then he quickly explains he's on a payphone and has to be quick. He explains that his situation is dangerous and he needs her help. For Haisha, this isn't a problem. It's a golden opportunity. She cheerfully agrees to help, reminding him they were classmates after all. He awkwardly explains that he's lost both his wallet and his phone. He cuts to the chase and asks for cash, admitting he can't survive without it. He also needs money to execute his own plan after ticking off an important figure. He's talking about Sister Cheng. Haisha has a flash of insight about Qin Xi's true nature, but she quickly decides to focus on her own situation instead. She decides this is the perfect time to meet up with him. Her next step is to contact Bu Feng and get an advance payment. With her plan set, Haisha pumps herself up for the task ahead. Repaying this debt is her ticket to freedom. While Haisha worries about the logistics, Qin Xi is just ecstatic. She agreed. He enthusiastically promises to pay her back double. He arranges for a dead drop, telling her to leave the cash somewhere safe. His symbiont, though, he feels like something is off. Haisha sets the terms for the drop-off, 7 a.m. at a secluded warehouse in Beiyang Port. But before she can finish her thought, the line goes dead. Haisha is left completely stunned. And on the other end, Qin Xi realizes why. He's run out of time on the payphone. As she looks out over the city, she leaves him with one last piece of advice, a playful warning to watch out for the security bureau. He's about to leave, but a heavy question from the symbiont stops him in his tracks. Don't you have parents? Why not ask them for help? And just like that, we're pulled into a memory, starting from when he was just a kid. The memory reveals a lonely childhood, spent trying to please parents who were never satisfied. He remembers pushing through incredible pain, all because he was terrified of being a burden to others. It all comes pouring out, the real reason he's always kept his struggles to himself. The emotional flashback ends, and we're snapped back to reality with a sudden jolt. After that intense internal journey, his reaction is a giant yawn. He seems completely unfazed. Looks like he's found his new accommodations for the night, under a bridge with some new neighbors. Well, so much for friendly neighbors. He wakes up to find himself tied up and apparently on the menu. He asks the obvious question and gets a pretty bleak answer. They're poor, and he's their ticket out. That excuse does not fly with him. He lets them know exactly what he thinks of their survival plan. Disgusting. The leader just shrugs it off as survival of the fittest. Turns out, the plan is to turn him in for a reward. Big mistake. They've just pushed the wrong button, and he's about to show them what a huge miscalculation that was. With a surge of raw power, the ropes holding him are instantly torn to shreds. He unleashes a massive blast of golden energy, and his captors can only watch in total shock as their plan goes up in smoke. A terrifying dragon spirit looms behind him, but he just offers a chipper. Good morning! The disconnect is, the few who are still standing make a desperate scramble to stop him from getting away. In a move that's either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid, one of them tries to take him on with a wooden stick. The attack connects all right, but the stick just shatters, and apparently that wasn't enough for them to back off. Take a hint, guys. He easily swats them away with a single slash. Just then, a new challenger steps up, telling everyone to get out of his way. Before he could even finish his words, our boy disarms him instantly. His bravery is met with a bone-shattering blow that takes him out of the fight. He then corners another one, but instead of a killing blow, he just asks for directions. And then he takes off. Someone recognizes him as he's running past them. And who's that on the water? It's our mustache, fish, guy. Suddenly, our boy decides he needs to lay low. He takes the sewers to avoid any more trouble. But trouble is everywhere. Turns out, a security drone is hunting for our protagonist and his companion. This isn't just any drone. It's new tech, proving the security bureau is ramping up its search. To stay hidden and conserve energy, he decides to revert back to his human form. But he's shocked to learn his power has a time limit. His companion explains that the host spirit has its own needs and limitations. And in the world of spirits, it's survival of the fittest. They literally eat each other to get stronger. Lower-level spirits drift through the city, desperately searching for a human host to inhabit. Because if they can't find one, they get eaten by the bigger fish. He can't help but notice it's not so different from the human world, where everyone's just trying to get by. For a spirit, finding the right human host is like a person finding their soulmate. A description that our hero finds absolutely disgusting. His companion asks him if he remembers. He saved him back in the day, and Qin Xi confirms it, otherwise he would have handed him to that flying squirrel. He remembers reading online about the Security Bureau's cruel treatment of heteromorphs. It was a dark corner of the internet, but he found the community fascinating. He'd even found video testimony from victims, describing horrific experiments. A desperate video message pops up. A man, dying and in agony, claims his immune system is failing after returning to his human form. The comments section is a total firestorm, with people either defending the heteromorphs or calling for their heads. He's clearly having second thoughts about this trip, but he already bought the ticket. With his task complete, he leans back in his chair, letting out a sigh of satisfaction. We get a look at the setting, Qi City, an abandoned enclave now co-led by both humans and heteromorphs. The deciding factor? The pay is double what he could make anywhere else. And just like that, his mind is made up. Another message plays, this time a warning from a defeated-looking man. He advises all heteromorphs to stop dreaming of becoming human again. Back to now. He's finally arrived at his destination, the mysterious Miracle Park. First impressions? The place is completely deserted, with massive rocks just floating and crumbling in the air. He surveys the ruins, wondering what happened here. His first move is to find a high vantage point to get the lay of the land. He stumbles upon a massive, ruined statue. More importantly, he spots some text on it. He dusts it off. A closer look at the plaque reveals this is the statue of the mother goddess of creation, an artifact thousands of years old. He recalls the history of this place. Excavators toppled the statue, leaving only ruins. This act is what apparently triggered the Rift event. Wait, back up. What's a Rift event? As if on cue, the sound of rifting echoes as a nearby structure begins to crumble and break. Suddenly, reality itself seems to crack open, revealing grotesque, powerful-looking creatures. The relic's appearance triggers something violent in our hero. He collapses in agony as a dark, draconic power erupts from within him.